Now, after you all have learned about cationic and anionic representations, we automatically move towards writing the chemical formula. Now, what do I exactly mean by chemical formula? You will get the textbook definition itself there in the textbook itself. I'll not give that definition. What you need to understand about formula is it is a shorthand way of writing the name of a compound. It is simply a shortened way of writing the name of a compound, and it has certain rules and regulations on the basis of which you have to find out the chemical formula. Now, when we find out chemical formula, we always follow, I'll write it down for you. I'm sure you all are aware of this because we have done it. We always follow the criss-cross method. Criss-cross method. Now, let me start with a few examples. I have put up few examples for you. Students, please understand, if there can be hundreds of examples which is not possible to teach you, obviously not via videos. So it is a trial and error method for you. You have to go on trying from your textbook exercises given. So let us start. The first thing that I have taken is sodium chloride. Now, if we remember their cationic and anionic representations, sodium is Na plus and chloride is Cl minus. So here it's a 1 plus and a 1 minus. 1 plus and 1 minus cancel out each other to give us NaCl. So this is basically Na1 and Cl1. Now we never write the 1. We simply omit it. We know that it is 1. So that 1 is omitted, and what we have left over here as our final formula for sodium chloride is NaCl. Next, magnesium phosphate. Now this is a little more, I can say a little complex one. Why do I say that? Now my magnesium representation is Mg2 plus and my phosphate representation is PO4 3 minus. Now please understand, please, I say this every year to every student, please don't make this mistake. This 4 has nothing to do with the chemical formula. This 4 has nothing to do with the chemical formula. Don't even look at it. Let it remain in its place. We are only concerned about this 2 at the top of magnesium and this 3 minus. Now, if you crisscross them, 2 will come for phosphate and 3 will come for magnesium. So, my final formula is Mg3PO4 whole twice. Whole twice. Why? Because PO4 is itself a phosphate group together. It's together. So you cannot separate it out. So if you're putting that 2 in here, it has to be PO4 whole twice. If you do not write the PO4 whole twice, it will be considered a wrong answer and you'll end up getting 0. Next one, let's move on to the next one. The next one that I have at hand is aluminium sulfate. Now aluminium is Al3 plus. And sulfate is SO4 2 minus. Now again I am at the same problem. Again I am at crossroads. Again I repeat, this 4 no role at all in formula. So what am I going to crisscross? I'm going to crisscross their valencies. So 3 plus over here at the head of aluminium, 2 minus over here, criss and cross. So this 2 will come for aluminium, Al2, and SO4 combined will get the 3 that has come from aluminium. So my final formula is Al2SO4 whole thrice. If you do not give the bracket, I repeat, if you do not give the bracket, it will be taken as a wrong answer and you will end up getting 0. Now let's move to the next example, zinc sulfide. Now zinc sulfide, Zn2 plus and S is 2 minus. Now 2 plus and 2 minus, they are cancelling out each other, leading me to Zns only. There's no question of writing any 2 because they have cancelled out each other. Moving on. The next example I have and in point for you is potassium sulfite. Potassium sulfite. So potassium is K plus. Sulfite again is SO3 2 minus. Please note everybody, again this 3 not of any use. You are only bothered about this 1 plus and this 2 minus. So this 1 plus comes for SO3 and the 2 comes for K via crisscross method, and what I have left over here is K2SO3. The 2 comes to this K and the SO3 remains as it is because 1 is not really written. So 1 is understood, it's there. So K2SO3 is your final answer. And the last example that I have shown, lithium manganate. Now lithium is Li+, you can see from its cationic representation, and manganate is MnO4-. Again, it's a similar case where there is 1 plus and 1 minus. Both of them nullify each other, and what you are left out with is LiMnO4. Lithium manganate, LiMnO4. Again, this MnO4, O4, the 4 is not of any use for writing the chemical formula. MnO4 is a complete anion, and so when the 1 comes here, that 1 stands for the whole of MnO4. But I repeat, since it's just 1, we don't write it, we take it for granted. So I hope the 6 examples are good enough for you to understand what I exactly want you to understand, and also because you have already studied it in class 7 and 8. Now the next one that you have is the worksheet on this basis. So please write down, you can see the worksheet yourself. Now I have put up the question a little differently for you. I have not asked you to write the chemical formula. What I have done on the other hand is I have written the chemical formula for you, and I want you to write the chemical names. For example, if I've given you LiMnO4, I want you to come up with the name lithium manganate. So that's what I want you to do. Students, please ensure that when you are writing these answers in your exercise book, wherever you are noting it down, please ensure that there should be no spelling mistake in the name of your chemical compound. If you are making spelling mistakes in the names of your chemical formula, there are full chances that it will lead to marks deduction. So please keep your head cool, go through the anionic representations, cationic representations, go through how I have done the crisscross method. Everything is there in the textbook, and please ensure that you complete your worksheet on time.